Hey guys, welcome back to me and Paul's channel. I hope all's well. In today's video, we're going to cover some top markets that cash flow really well. But before we jump in that video, for those who are new, me and Paul, we purchase real estate in 44 states across the US. We primarily buy through online auctions, off the MLS, and from wholesalers and agents. With that said, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel below. And today we're going to jump into this Bigger Pockets article that we saw on different, first let's define, I guess, what is rent to price ratio before we get into the actual cash flow markets that they cover. So simple, high level rule of thumb, rent to price ratio that a lot of people use is, the median rent divided by the median home price in a market gives you the rent to price ratio. And an ideal ratio is 1%.
1%. Yep.
2%, if you could find that, it's a whale, and it's probably a more rural market. Yes. And in the Midwest, you're not going to find that on the coast at all. But a good rule of thumb is 1% as a quick level analysis on whether you want to pursue a property or not based rents and price.
Yes. Yeah. And then a lot of other factors will come into it too, right? There's a straight 1%, but if you're in a market like New Jersey where the real estate tax is real high and your cost of living is a little higher, insurance is higher, that throws off this ratio a little bit. Whereas if you're in, say, Cleveland, Ohio, where your real estate taxes are low and you don't have high insurance costs, it's going to help this number a little bit. You could be maybe a little bit below that, or you don't have to have the same ratio, but that 1% is your golden rule. If you have that, generally you're gonna be able to turn around and move this as like a turnkey. If you want to be a turnkey investor where you're just getting properties, renovating them and selling them to other people who want to hold them as long-term rentals, that's the ratio they're looking for. Now we're looking for as close as we can get to 2%, but 1% does work in the right markets. And we kind of want to get into those markets here. Bigger Pockets has the top 10. And I like this because this was definitely like an off the wall, different list than you're typically going to get. And it shows that they're accounting for people moving into more rural markets than they have in the past.
Which is what we're seeing.
Which is what we're seeing totally 100%. Now, Mobile, Alabama, that's really growing. That is a market that's growing. I think it might have been Toyota or some major companies. There's several major companies probably, I'm sure, in there. But Toyota, I think, might have been one that went there. Don't know about Eagle River, Alaska. And I think Sun City, Arizona might be more up in the mountains. I'm not 100% positive on it, but it's going to be a great retirement area. I'm sure a lot of people go in Arizona right now, Phoenix, Tucson to retire. So these are important ones. Look, Quinta, California, we're not to me. California would not be on my list at all. The real estate tax are too high. They're talking about doubling them. You have what, a 13 or 16% income tax in California. I wouldn't touch it.
A lot of people are fleeing California, especially the Bay Area right now in this remote world. Everyone's going to Idaho and other parts of the U.S.
Agreed. So I'm not sure why it made the list, but it must be less expensive there, obviously. We're not familiar with Commerce City, Colorado, but it's definitely one I want to look into again because Colorado has pretty good real estate tax. Not real expensive. Cost of living is probably a smaller city here, so it's probably going to be a bit lower. Connecticut, again, I wouldn't touch Connecticut. You're in the Northeast, these states that get crazy with taxes and all kinds of restrictions and landlord restrictions and impossible to get rid of a tenant. Again, go back to California and that impossible to get rid of a tenant too. So I steer clear of that. Wilmington, Delaware, we know this market well. In the inner city itself, it can be pretty bad, but if you go on the outskirts, it's pretty good. Yep. You got some nice suburban areas and you have, again, low taxes. You have no sales tax, but you have you flow property pretty well. Yeah. Fort Pierce, Florida, don't know that one either. Again, it's probably more in the center of the state, I'm going to guess. And you can cash flow the heck out of properties in Florida in the center of the state. Taxes are low. You have no state income tax. So big benefits there. Jonesboro, Georgia. I do know Jonesboro, but we've never actually done a deal in Jonesboro. Probably a nice suburban market. Again, low cost of entry, and it's going to be low taxes. So I definitely think these are good markets. And they never have on the list Pennsylvania and the Pocono Mountains. We love them. Yep. I have a lot of cash flow rentals up there, guys. And some of them I own, I paid $50,000 for and are running for $1,200, $1,300 a month. $1,325 for one of them that I paid $58,000 for. So that ratio is pretty good. I'm getting close to that 2% on that one. Got a few like that. Texas, I can't believe there's not a lot of Texas on here. To me, Texas is an area that really they should be going after and looking here. In the Carolinas, they're ignoring the Carolinas. Yeah. Carolinas make some pretty good cash flow in there. And I guess they got tired of maybe putting Indiana, Ohio there all the
Yeah,
time.
Indiana, Ohio, those Midwest states, they've been hammered in the last few years.
Totally.
So it's a fresh list here. These aren't cities we typically see.
Yeah, and I do know that Michigan has really been growing, getting better on the rental side. The value's been going up, and good point of entry cost and lower taxes. And as soon as they get rid of the crazy governor there, I think that'll be a little bit better. But there are definitely good cash flow opportunities there. There's no doubt about it. So these are just a few examples. They got a decent list here. Definitely ones to look at if you're thinking about it, but definitely think about where you would want to own them, depending where you live, right? And what you'd want to get out of them, and think about the insurance, think about the taxes and all these other costs that go into it. And one other thing I did want to hit on, because this is important for me, utility costs. So Aqua PA is a pretty big company here in Pennsylvania, and they also, I think they're in Ohio and a few other. I will not own a rental property that is run by them. Their water bill per month is more than what I pay for my quarter for my house, with 6 people living in my house. They're insane, their costs. So you got to remember that too. The utilities are an important factor. And if you got ridiculous, so up in Portland, Pennsylvania, there's a duplex on fixing and flipping. They have a quarterly trash charge, a quarterly sewer bill. That's pretty high. It's hard to cash flow a property up there. So there's a property, I'm just going to fix it and flip it and get rid of it. So these are important factors you need to think about when you're thinking about a long-term rental, for sure, and what market you want to be in. Mike, do you have any closing thoughts on that at all?
No, I mean, these are fresh perspective, new markets. It's not the same thing as Indianapolis, Columbus, Ohio that we've been hearing for years now. So it's a unique list. And if you guys, have any comments for us, or, you agree or disagree with the list, let us know in the comments. Like the video if you thought this was good, and share it with anyone you think that would be beneficial for. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel.
Totally. We appreciate that. And also, if you guys know of any markets that are really good hidden gems, maybe you don't want to share with us, right? But if you want to share some, let us know. We would love to hear it. Put it in the comments below. We look forward to hearing that. Thanks, guys.